What is up, YouTube? So first and foremost, okay, my battery for this video camera is gonna die, so I'm estimating I still have around 20 minutes, and that is why I'm gonna cut this video short. So it's gonna be under 20 minutes for sure, and probably under 15 to be safe, which is saying something because my videos get pretty long. Anyhow, this week's chapter, great in certain ways. In other ways, not so great. It was definitely one of those transition chapters, so because of this, I can't give it a rating of anything higher than 8. So I will give you my final rating at the end, but just because it's a transition chapter and because of how this type of chapter works, you can't really do much in it, and max rating on these types of things, 8 out of 10. And so the rating might lower by the time we get to the end of the video. So what is a transition chapter? Well, it is something that is needed in all sorts of manga. You have to have time to build up plot before you get to the juicy parts, or the big chapters where there's some sort of plot twist that blows your mind, or some huge fight sequence. This was a very mundane, somewhat boring chapter in a lot of ways. However, there's still a lot of very good, interesting things to go along, so it's definitely not like below a 5 out of 10. Okay, so in this chapter of One Piece, chapter 715, called Fierce Battle in C Block, we see the C Block duel it out for the tournament. That's it. That's the whole chapter. We start in like the beginning / middle of this C Block duel, and we end the chapter still in the midst of the fight, probably still in the middle. Why? Because there's still so many people left fighting. So let's just do a quick play-by-play. Again, there will be no chapter summary. I'm assuming you guys have read it. If not, just Google it. You can read it for free online. And so the very first point is the title page, which shows Caribou reuniting with his brother and his crew. And they seem very, very happy. So again, that's not a good thing in the long term. I mean, this guy is bad. But at the same time, those who are placed in these gag mini-series at the beginning of each chapter usually turn out to be pretty decent guys. I mean, look at Buggy. I think Caribou is very similar in the fact that he's strong, but he's very weak compared to the Straw Hat crew as of now. Similar to Buggy, similar to Crocodile, and therefore I think he might end up being in a similar fashion, a anti-hero. Moving on, we see the fight, and the giant gets eliminated immediately. One punch from Luffy in the cheek. Now, the thing with the bull is, I really feel like a lot of people are like, wow, Luffy, you are so awesome. You are so compassionate for this bull that you took out this giant in this fight. Well, first off, the bull was a member of the Colosseum, and its job was to be released and kill as many people as possible. So it is not some sort of righteous creature in its own. Luffy, being very strong, what he did as a character was he rode the bull, and because he's so much stronger than everyone, including the bull, he treated it like a pet, and that is why he got very enraged when it died. Still, despite this, the bull is still not a good creature. Its purpose is to destroy and kill fighters, and you can tell it was enjoying doing so. But then again, are any of these fighters righteous in and of themselves? So let's move on to all the new character introductions. I think that is what will up the rating on this video, or this chapter. We see a lot of people. The first one reminds me of the guy from Fairy Tail. I forgot his name, but if you read Fairy Tail the manga, there is this guy who drinks a lot of beer, and he always has like he has like this weird clothing where like his arms are covered but the rest of his body is naked, and so he very much reminds me of that guy from Fairy Tail. However, he is different. This guy's name is the Explosive Cannon Idio. He does not drink beer. He is a boxer. Why does his shoulders extend all the way up here? I don't know. It's very strange, but we do know he's very strong. His punches become explosions, and he's not Devil Fruit user, which is saying something in his ability. And on top of that, one punch, he knocked the giant out of the stadium. So he is one person who could have taken out this giant as well. And so it seems like I'm giving a chapter summary, but I'm not. I mean, I'm skipping a ton of stuff, a ton. So I'm assuming you've read the chapters. This is more a review and not as chapter summary. So next we see three guys. I was about to say kids. Are they strong? I would say so. The two subordinates are not so strong. The bosses. And these three people are all part of this sort of gang affiliate called Kano Kuni. And they use, actually no, it's not Kano Kuni, it's a Happo Navy. And I think they're also a gang affiliate as well. And so they use a very strange type of fighting ability. It's Kempo, which is a Japanese art that's actually real in real life. And it's just a simple martial art. But it's different because they, at least one of them, his name's Sai, the first one introduced, uses this thing where you don't even have to like touch the person and it just blows away everything. Like he literally punched, he kicked the shield of this fighter and the punch just reverberated and it shattered this guy's helmet and his skull, and there's blood everywhere. So it's apparently called the unblockable reverberating punch, the Hashoken. And I don't know if this is something unique to this guy alone, but anyhow, they use Kempo, and according to, actually yes, in the next panel when we get introduced to the second one, Boo, who is also a member of the Happo Navy. He's the lieutenant commander and also a Kano Kuni gang affiliate. He uses the same thing. Like he has like a shield on his right hand and boom, he just nudges it and it just like shockwaves and shatters people's helmets. So this is some sort of ability these three people have in common. Some sort of Kempo ability or something where it's unblockable. And so they are very, very strong. And then obviously we have Don Chinjiao, which is the leader. He's the commander, retired of the Happo Navy. And all you see is, well, first off, we all know he's very, very old. He's Garp's age. And on top of that, he's freaking a boss. And he constantly references how old he is. And so we know he's very, very experienced. And we see him use the commander haki, which pretty much immediately knocks everyone out, which is, I mean, I'm pretty sure he is going to be one of the last ones standing. Most likely what's going to happen is Chinjiao is most likely going to have to take out his subordinates to win this competition, because it's last one standing. Even though he has two subordinates in this competition, he's going to have to knock him out. And I really think Chinjiao, especially bearing his grudge against Luffy, we know he's very strong because of his fights with Garp, and we pretty much know that he's probably one of the strongest here. So he's probably going to be the last one standing along with Luffy. Then we have this other guy, Jean the Bandit. He's a bounty hunter. I think one of the first ones. Actually, Zoro was a bounty hunter too, I think. But yeah, one of the first ones I've seen. Basically people who hunt pirates and claim bounties. So this guy's very strange. He has a Mexican style of attire, and he collects swords and weapons and then snipes people with these weapons. Literally, he throws them at people like archery. I don't know how strong he is. I really don't. I don't think he will be. I don't think he'll win at all. I mean, I thought he was very mysterious and secretively very powerful, but there's too many other champions, and we know Luffy has to win this Block C. So there's no way Luffy will lose this one, and therefore he's just a minor character. I think he's going to leave. Then we have these two kids, okay? They are brothers. One is a boxer, another boxer, okay? And this guy is different. He has long black hair, and yeah, his shoulders don't extend. Is he a better boxer than that other guy? We are not sure yet. We don't know. My prediction, probably not. I mean, usually the brother gag, it doesn't really work well. Usually they end up being very weak. And so, they're called the Funk Brothers, and I think that's some sort of reference to the Blues Brothers in real life. I'm not sure. They have like the Blues Brothers hat on, so I think it might be a reference. Anyhow, it's very funny because you have the big brother who's shorter and he's very arrogant and constantly wants to fight. And then the younger brother is huge and he's constantly very shy and cowardly, and yet he's obviously very, very strong. So they're like destroying people. And then you see Boo, who I just mentioned, come in and take on these guys. And it looks like immediately he knocks out the younger brother. But then, not the younger brother, he knocks out the older brother. And here is the crazy thing. The older brother's like very cowardly and he's like, don't kill me, don't kill me. And he's like, I've never been in a fight. And then he cowers over and like he huddles in fear. And so Boo takes out his axe and like smashes it on top of his back. And then the axe snaps in half. And I'm thinking this guy is, I'm thinking the younger brother of the Funk Brothers is hella strong. He just doesn't realize it. I mean, the axe literally snaps in half. And this is not no ordinary axe. Boo mentions that it was imbued with armament haki, which is not heki, haki. And there's three types of haki. The commander haki, which was just talked about, and then this is another type, and it's very, very strong. It's very hard to utilize. Basically, you pretty much strengthen anything by hardening like the air around it, so to speak, the atmosphere around it, and thus you create an additional very, very hard shield. You see it in the One Piece 12 movie at the end with the Black Fist. So again, this guy is hella strong. For him, he mentions how for him to break this armament haki, his body has to be made out of something incredible. And so there's some ambiguity here, okay? Page 18. I think it was done on purpose. It was not made clear on purpose. If anyone wants to discuss or clarify, go ahead in the comments below. But it seems like what happens, because we don't see what exactly happens in the process, but all of a sudden, we see this guy, and it seems to be like a fusion of both of the Funk Brothers. But if you look closely, it looks a lot like the younger, the older Funk Brother, the shorter one, except now he's a lot taller, and now he's a whole lot buffer. He's a lot bigger and a lot buffer than the older brother the younger brother initially. And so I'm thinking they fused, because it looks like his face looks like the younger brother, but now he has the hat of the older brother. So he fuses, and he just pummels this Boo guy from this gang affiliate, and he just destroys him. He literally defeats him instantly. And he's like, who's the shrimp now? And so, obviously, he's a subordinate, so Chinjiao would have had to take him out anyways later on. So, not too big a deal. Each time I say Chinjiao, it reminds me of League of Legends and Xin Zhao. And finally, okay, so second to last page, we see Luffy and the bandit. And somehow, the bandit was able to steal the helmet right off Luffy's face, and Luffy has to now cover it with a rope. And then the band's like, I've heard rumors that you are Straw Hat Luffy with the 400 million bounty. And then I'm thinking, okay, this guy is a lot stronger than I first thought him out to be. I thought he would be eliminated quickly. He seems like a minor character. And now, after rereading this, I'm thinking, okay, this guy is... He's got to be strong. To steal Luffy's helmet right off his head without him noticing, you have to have some skill. Especially post-time skip Luffy, where we still have yet to see his full max power level or max fighting capabilities. So I'm thinking this guy's really strong. And from what we've seen in this second to last page, it seems like everyone freaking knows Luffy is Luffy. This is not Lucy. Almost everyone already knows that this guy is Luffy in disguise. Anyhow, moving on to, actually, the very last page for this chapter, we see a panel of 6 people still remaining. 6 people, okay? This chapter and this Block C is going on longer than the others, I think. Which I guess makes sense, but I just don't like this whole tournament fight sequence. It's very lame, it's very... I don't know, there's too many characters, too many of them that seem very overpowered, and then they just get destroyed easily. I'd rather have like just very, very interesting but fewer people, and just have more strong, formidable battles rather than just people getting wiped out instantly and then like you forgetting about them. Like in this tournament alone, there's been so many characters introduced, and most of them end up just being minor, weak characters that get forgotten about. So anyhow, finally we have 6 panels, and we see the 6 remaining people. We see what seems like the Funk brothers, who have fused together in one panel. Then we have Luffy, of course. Then we have the bandit guy, who has a very, very strange hat. It's like a Mexican sombrero, except that this round portion is like a cactus with like straight up cactus branches. And then we have Chinjiao, of course. He's probably going to make it to the end of Block C versus Luffy. Then we have that initial boxer with the huge shoulders. I think he'll get pretty far, but will he beat the Fusion Funk Brothers boxer? I think so. Why? Because he was only introduced for a single panel, whereas the Funk Brothers got so much. So there's a lot of mystery involving him, and I think it'd be more of a juicy plot if he won. Maybe he has some secret abilities. And then finally we have the last subordinate of Chinjiao who is still alive. The other one being taken out immediately by the Funk Brother Fusion. So I'm assuming this last subordinate of Chinjiao will be going pretty soon. Sure, he's probably stronger than the other one, Boo, but he will most likely be eliminated. Why? Because Chinjiao is definitely stronger than him. I honestly don't understand why they put all of their like team on the same Block C. I guess it was randomized, I don't know. So it's rather unfortunate, but yeah, Chinjiao is going to have to eliminate his subordinates, or most likely they'll be eliminated themselves. And so I'm very, very interested in this. Another thing I really like is the bandit. He has this thing like covering his mouth. It's like iron bars, and they just cover his mouth like next to each other, and it looks really, really cool. And it reminds me of someone, and I can't remember who, but I know it was in Fairy Tail. It was one of the characters in Fairy Tail. It's just this guy who has like literally like almost like an iron jaw, but it's not really, like he still has a mouth underneath. And yeah, that's it for this review. Final rating, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. 7-ish, maybe a 6.8. Okay, 6.8 to 7, depending on how I'm feeling at the time. It has a lot to improve on, but it still has a lot of solid things. Again, it is one of those boring midway chapters. But that's it for this review of One Piece 715 Fierce Battle in C Block. Subscribe for more. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe, most importantly. Peace.